There you go. Hi, you guys. Thank you for coming on. Sierra, that is very interesting. She said she's going to have to catch me on the replay, but I wanted to say hi. So hi. You joined in 1970 and got out right around the Mission Holders Conference, which was what, 85? So hi Ocean Waves, hi Marcy, hi Grand Theft Hoopty. That's right, you caught alive. Hi Joe. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm normally on the replay. Yeah, so it's kind of fun to have it be a little earlier. So I'm working on different schedules. I'm trying them out and seeing what works for everybody the best. Hello from Jacksonville, Florida. Ooh, I'm not a big Florida fan, having spent 7 years on OT7 suffering away there, and the humidity. Oy vey. I mean, I left Chicago because of the humidity, really. All right, now this is Janet from another planet. I love that one too. Hi, Tori, and mods in chat. I don't know if the mods are on here yet, but they will be. Hey, Dee. Hi. Do you see my little doggies? They were down on another thing. I wanted to show them. Hi, Marcy. Cool. Janet from another planet. That is a good nickname. It really is. I mean, I like a lot of your nicknames, but some of them are just they're just catchy, and that one's really catchy. Excuse me. I did that interview with Mark and um, Janice Gillum Sunday. Was it Sunday? No, or Saturday. It was recently. And Mark is going to try to help me with this circle thing because when we did the interview, it was gone, and now it's back. So I called him right before I went live, and he's going to try to check it out tomorrow. He said it's got to be in your settings somewhere, but I can't seem to find it. Thank you, Janet from another planet, and Lauren. Love the earlier time. Okay, good to know. That helps. Getting a little bit of feedback from you guys because it's hard to tell on your own. But I think you're right. I think I probably will. Like this is working where it's like Monday, Wednesday, and then Friday night I'm going to do Midnight with Magoo, and then Sunday I'm going to do the Q&A like I did last night, which worked out really well. It was a really good show. I think everybody had questions, a lot of them. Hi, Kathy. Mm. It's getting warm here, believe it or not. It's unusual because we went from so cold and then all of a sudden spring is here. Are my words, darn it, what do I do that happens? Can you see it where my words aren't fitting my mouth, right? Can you see it? Janet from another planet, Lapisha. Yes, I enjoyed the Q&A. Good. Good. Yeah, I think there were a lot of good questions. So are my words matching my mouth or not? It seems like they're not. Darn it, I don't know what I do that does that. I'll have to ask Mark tomorrow. But that's a new thing that started. See if I go like that. Then I'll be back. Finished upper. All right. Finished upper. About half a second apart. Yeah, that's what I thought. It looks weird to me. Thank you, Dee. All right. Does anybody know? Okay, it seems okay for you. All right, good. Hey, Sophie, there you are. The timing is slightly off, but it's not too bad. Okay. Because I could turn it off and start it again if you want. It's up to you guys. It's weird for me, but I don't know what I'm doing that gets that going. Grr. Grr. Mm. Sophie says hi. And Chad says hi to you. All right, what can I do that would stop this? Scenes? No, that's not it. Well, I could mute it for a minute. Would that work? Let me try it. Bop, 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 bop. Okay. Is the sound back? Now the sound should be back. Is it back? Yes? Sound? Now you're saying no sound. But I unmuted. Yeah, okay. You have the sound. Yeah. Okay, good. All right. Well, anyway, I can either do one of two things. I can turn it off and you can all come back on. That's one thing. And hopefully I won't move around as much and then maybe that won't jar it. I don't know what it is with this laptop. But, or I can just do it as it is. What do you want? Sophie, you decide. Hello, everyone. Sound is good. Okay, good. No, let's keep going. Okay, we can adapt. All right, I will too. It's awkward, but I will. And then I just have to remember, I think, to not move around too much when I think that might be what throws it off. Tori, it's fine. It's not out of time that badly. Okay. All right. So I'm basically, I know some of you know how I got in, but I thought I'd just kind of start at there and move through it, because I was trying to think of what to talk about tonight, unless you guys have something that you want me to talk about. So I'm going to wait a minute, and if anybody has something you want, post it, and then I will, or otherwise I'm going to tell you, basically, why did I join? So I'll wait for a minute. Okay. Hello, Miss Tori and everyone. Hi, Ocean Waves. That's always a nice nickname, Ocean Waves. I'm a water person, so it's always good. I should have a nickname, Rivers. I love rivers. Okay. Sophie's saying hi to Ocean Waves. All right. Well, anyway, no one has anything else they want me to talk about. Janet from another planet. Don't you wish you could make the font bigger in the chat? I really do. It's very hard for me. Okay, here's a question. And this is from Valerie. Okay, question. Do you watch podcasts on other cults like Mormons? I don't. I really don't. Maybe I should, but I don't have, it's like I don't want to spend too much time on cults. I've spent 24 years on it. So it's kind of like, no, I'm not going to spend time on theirs. If they wanted to come to mine and do an interview, I'd be happy to do it. But learning about other cults, I've learned they're so similar. They really are. It's frightening. It really is. So I've got my fill of cults. All right. Tori Rivers. It has a ring to it. There you go, Tori Rivers. Yeah, I like it. I don't know about Tori Rivers, but we'll see. Who knows? I never really thought of Scientology when Bunker brought over the webcam when I first got it in 2008. And I was like, what am I going to do with this? And he said, we're going to start your YouTube site. And I said, what am I going to do with the YouTube site? And he said, well, we'll make a video. Tori Magoo has a YouTube site. And that was the beginning of my YouTube. And he said, what do you want to name it? And I had been keeping my dad, who my nickname for him was Magoo, because he was funny and he had tiny eyes like Mr. Magoo. So I thought, I'll name it Tori Magoo 44. 44 was his football number. So it was kind of like in honor of him. And, later I thought if someone was searching Scientology, they would rarely find Tori Magoo 44, but they actually do, surprisingly. It really is. All right, now let me see. Okay, there's a question. Okay, ooh. Never in Aaron, hi. Hey there, Never in Aaron. Hey, I made it live, yay. That's right, Marcy. Empicus, cool. Never in Aaron, hey. That's a good name. I'm glad you named it that because it keeps it separate from Aaron. Okay, so I'm going to tell you why I joined. So I was in college after being a hippie, after being in college, and it was sort of like I graduated high school. And then my parents sent me to another girls' Catholic boarding school, which I'd already been in a Catholic boarding school. I don't think this one was Catholic, but it was an all-girls boarding school, and I didn't want to be there, in Newport, Rhode Island, believe it or not. And I didn't want to be there, and neither did my roommate. So we quit, and we went to New York, and we were in New York. And then The Summer of Love came out in San Francisco. I said, let's go there. So we bought a VW bus and went to San Francisco, and I became a hippie and did drugs and all the rock and roll and everything else, and got sick. And my parents flew me back to Lake Forest. I got better, and then they said, okay, you've got to go back to college. So now I'm in Lake Forest College, and these kids from Scientology came in, and they had a Dianetics book. And I said, what's that? And I'd been kind of studying different philosophies. And they said, oh, it's a Dianetics book. And I said, okay, what do they believe? And he said, well, it's the modern science of mental health. And, I knew nothing about it. I'd never even heard of it. And he said, well, you can have the book. Here, we'll give it to you. I still have it to this day. And so I started reading it. I only read like 3 chapters. And I really wanted to be an auditor. I wanted to originally be a doctor. My grandfather was a doctor. And that was my plan, to be a doctor. But once I got in college, I thought, Tori, you are not going to go through 4 years of college, 4 years of medical school, then internships, and then be a doctor. It's not going to happen. So I read Dianetics, and I thought, probably in a couple of months, you could be a Dianetic auditor. And that sounded like you could really help people. And I thought, okay. And I had kind of an argument with my dad, and he said, well, it's our morals or no school. And so I said, Dad, I'm in college and I'm a night owl. And he goes, no, you're going to bed. And so I hung up on him and I wrote, your morals. He said, it's our morals or no school. And I put, your morals or no school, screw you. And I never have said that to my father, ever. But I did then. And I packed my bag and I hitchhiked from Chicago all the way to LA, because on the back of the Dianetics book, it said St. Hill, England, or American St. Hill in LA. So I hitchhiked there. And I think I've told you guys this story, but I got there and it looked really weird and it wasn't really my tribe. And I thought, I don't know. But then I called my friend and he said, oh, this guy will come talk to you. And he did. And he said, well, what are your considerations? And I said, well, why do they have up those big pictures of that guy, which was Hubbard? And he said, yeah, I know. We don't really like that much either. He said, and I said, but what about those guys marching around in the uniforms? Because they were like in these military uniforms. And he said, that's the Sea Org. That's Hubbard. That's not really our thing either. He said, well, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to be an auditor. And he said, well, and there were tons of people outside of Astro back then. There were like at least 100 people, 50 to 100. There were a lot of people. And he said, well, let's go talk to the auditors and you can meet them and see. And I started listening to them. And of course, they all had the Scientology lingo, which is all kinds of special words for things. And so I didn't quite know what they were talking about, but they were super nice. And I thought, I don't care what these people do. I want to be one of them. And so that was the beginning of it, where I kind of turned off my critical thinking and I joined then. That's what happened. And I was like, all right, what do I do? And they said, well, you should take a communication course. And I said, okay. And it was like $20 then, I think, or maybe 40 at the most. So I paid for it. In the beginning, the old communication course, I loved. And a lot of people did also. It was way different than it is now. So back then, you learned, I think the first one was, he didn't even have OTTR0, which is now you just sit by yourself and you're being by yourself. But they don't even have that then. They just had being able to confront someone, like face someone. And I know a lot of people think that means like staring them because people do that. But that isn't really what it is. It's just being there comfortably with another person. And a lot of people can't do that. They've never really sat down with someone and just been comfortable with them. So you sit down and usually people start laughing and you go, okay, that's a flunk. Because that's how the drill goes. That's a flunk, start. And so then you start again and you're just looking at each other. And then, the person starts like twitching or something like that. And you go, okay, flunk, you twitched, start. And you just keep doing that until finally the person can just comfortably be there. So I thought, well, that's pretty cool. It wasn't really hard for me, but it was hard for a lot of people. So then there's that. And then they had what they called bull baiting, which was where you're basically just supposed to, kind of push people's buttons until they laugh, right? It's just sort of like the intention behind bull baiting is to get someone to be able to be anywhere and not get thrown off because somebody goes, oh my God, you're blonde, or something like that. And then you're like, oh, instead, it's just sort of like you just sit there and someone starts picking at you, saying stuff. And, each time you react, it's a flunk and then you start again. And so they had these different TRs, so that was TR0, TR0 bull bait. TR1 was communicating with the intention to get your communication across. Because, you talk to some people and they kind of talk like this. You go, okay, that's a flunk. You have to direct your communication. And they have all these little written things about communication on the course. One of them that's key is Hubbard talked about ARC, affinity, reality, communication, right? And so he said, if any one of those three corners breaks off, you just have to increase the other two to bring back the ARC. And that's a big thing in Scientology. Did you have an ARC break with me? Meaning, are you upset with me, right? And so you learn about these things before the course, and then now you're doing these drills. And so there's TR1, TR2 is acknowledgments, which a lot of people are bad at. And again, it's something where you get better at it. You learn to, and back then they had good, thank you, okay, all right. And that was it. Good, thank you, all right, okay. And then later they realized they were very kind of robotic sounding. And Hubbard came up with, do something that fits the emotion. Like if someone, like my mother called, this is a true story, and said, your father just came home from the hospital and died. And I went, okay, thank you. And it was just sort of like wrong thing to say, totally wrong thing to say. And I know for people listening, you're like, how could you do that? But it's like that's all there was at that time. And that was considered the appropriate acknowledgement, even though it isn't. And finally, Hubbard changed it to where you had to do an acceptable acknowledgement that was the right thing. So there's that. And then TR2, I think I said TR2 is acknowledgement. TR3 is repeating the question, until you get your question answered. And TR4 is repeating your question in case someone has something like a real situation that they need to talk about. You stop and handle it and then get back to the question again. So that's just a little communication course. And it was simple. A lot of people had wins on it. And meaning they felt better. They were able to communicate better because of it. I was pretty good at communicating because my parents were good communicators. So, but the drills helped me learn what made somebody a good communicator and not. So I really liked it. And the funny thing is, we learned about ARC, right? And how, communication is the universal solvent. That was Hubbard's thing, which he probably stole from someone. But anyway, I go out into the lobby of where I was, which was American St. Hill, and hear these two Sea Org guys just yelling at each other. And I remember having this Homer Simpson bubble thinking, now, wait a minute. What about universal communication is the universal solvent? Why aren't they using ARC to figure out which one of the triangle corners is broken? But that happened a lot in Scientology. And I called it the closet. It was just like, I'll put it in the closet and I'll worry about it another day. Because it was too much stuff. All right, so now let me just check. Because a whole bunch of people came on now. Let's see, ocean waves. Thank you. I love the ocean. Yeah. Hey, Tony. Hi. Did somebody... let's keep going. Okay, all right. So it's fine. Okay, thank you. Let's see. Yeah, don't you wish you could have bigger? Totally. That would help a bunch. That would help me a bunch. All right, now Valerie. Question. Oh yeah, do you watch? No, I don't watch other cults. I watch other podcasts about Scientology. Those people I do. Not a ton, but I do. But I don't other cults. I just feel like I don't have the time. Tony. Hi, Tori. Hi, everyone. Ocean waves. Thank you. I love the ocean. Cool. All right. Tori Rivers has a ring to it. All right. Yes, I've noticed that all the cults operate in a similar way. I mean, to a frightening way. It's really amazing if you're in a room with a bunch of them. I was at a cult conference and these people would be rattling away and I'd go, you were in the Sea Org, right? And they'd go, no, Church of Christ. Or some other cult. It was just sort of like they were so similar. It was really scary. All right, no, wait, I gotta do this. Never in Aaron, good evening. Sophie says, hey there, Never in Aaron. Hey, I made alive, yay. All right, just watching how Chris is doing. Just wondering how Chris is doing. Chris who? I don't know who you're talking about regarding that. Okay, hi, Marcy. Hi, Janet. Hi, Marcy. Okay, so everybody's saying, hey, hi. I wanted to be a veterinarian until I heard how much school. Yeah, that was the same kind of thing. Same, Marcy. Yeah. Do you have to be in the Sea Org to be an auditor? No, not at all. No. I mean, in fact, they have people that train as auditors, which was me. Then I did join the Sea Org, but then they routed me out because of epilepsy and my medicine. But no, they also have people that are on staff, which is 3 years or 5 years. And the staff people work either mornings or all day, Monday to Friday, or evenings and weekends. That's the nighttime staff or the daytime staff, day or night. And then CEO, of course, is the billion-year contract, which thank goodness I got out of that. All right. Okay, let's see. Bull baiting just seems mean-spirited. I know, because I think you've only seen the videos of people where they are being mean, but it isn't. It really isn't. It isn't mean-spirited at all. In fact, it really helps people, because many people do have certain things they just can't face. And when they, after bull baiting, they can. I told you, I don't know if you guys were on when I told about this businessman who came to Celebrity Center, but Yvonne came up to me and she said, look, this guy is a really nice guy, but he's positive he has no buttons. And we need somebody to crack him, and you're really good. So can you go try it? And because she said nobody's been able to, nobody. So I said, okay. So I sat down with him, and he was from Chicago, and I started pushing, a few little buttons that I thought might work, and nothing was working with the guy. Nothing. He was just like, nope, I don't have any buttons. So finally I thought, okay, now wait a minute. Let's just sit back and look at this person. And I looked at him and I went like this. Frogs. And he just burst out laughing. And I said, okay, that's a funk. Start. And then I did it again. Frogs. And he just kept bursting out laughing. It was really funny. And finally he said, okay, time out. He goes, how did you know? And I said, know what? And he goes, I used to go around Central Park with a little frog on my hand, and I would talk to kids. And it was a big thing for me. And I said, honestly, I didn't know it. I just kind of sat back and thought, all right, what am I going to say to this guy? And that came out. So it was really funny, but he was rock solid member after that. Because it showed that he had something that maybe could be helped. But I know you probably see videos where it does look like they're mean, but most of it's people laughing and having a good time. Tori Magoo is telling the story of how she got into Scientology live on the internet. How can that be real? So epic. How can that be real? I don't get what your question is. Tori Magoo is telling the story of how she got into Scientology live on the internet. How can that be real? So epic. All right. Well, I hope you're enjoying it. I can't tell. You guys have to let me know if you do or not. Hi, Tori. Hi, Larry. Oh, Larry, my mother called. Okay. Good evening. Oh, you hated your mother. Okay. Sophie. There are videos with Stacy. I know, I've seen them. That I was there, I think, when they did those. And Jesse, that demonstrate the TR is very interesting. Basically training you to enjoy hypnotic control in a way. I know. Anyway, I have a different feeling about it, but I'm not gonna. It's fine. I relate to this. There are videos with Stacy Brooks that demonstrate the TR is very interesting. Basically, training you to enjoy being hypnotically controlled in a way. Okay. All right. Everybody's saying hello. Hello, hello, hello. If you have any questions, please put question in front of it. I wanted to be a lawyer, but I just didn't know. I didn't have the learning. Never in Aaron. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of work too. It's the same thing as a doctor, a lot of work. Okay. Oh, Feral Cheryl is here? Oh, yeah, she is. Hi. Hey, welcome. I'm telling about when I first got in Scientology. And the first thing I did was a communication course, which a lot of people do. Okay, now everybody's saying, hi, Hero Feral, I miss you. Haha. How are you doing? Okay, everyone has buttons except a psychopath. Tory frogs. I know, isn't that funny that I just picked it up? And it was like, wow, never in, never. Okay, and Moose on the Loose. Oh, hi. Sophie, I know I've been having to pass out early these days, and I'm a couple hours ahead. Good. Well, hopefully you can stay for a little bit. Okay. Moose. Well, luckily Tori is doing earlier streams on Monday and Wednesday, and 8 p.m. at 8 p.m. my time. So let me know if that works. If it does or it doesn't. Marcy, Kelly. Hi, Tori. Hi, Larry. Okay, Moose. I'm 2 hours ahead also, 8 p.m. Tori's time. Wow. All right. Good to see you, Tori. Thank you, Larry. It's good to see you here also. All right. All right, good. So TR3 is the best. You'll see a lot of senators use it in hearings. It's funny because Hubbard, we were at Flag and they had an all hands, we had to go to this event. So we went to the event and these Buddhist monks came in. And basically Miscavige was there announcing that these Buddhist monks had decided L. Ron Hubbard was Buddha. And why was he Buddha? Because of TR3. They said, that's the only thing we don't have. And we all were like, they were all dressed in Buddha outfits, and it just looked so set up. We all walked out and we said, somebody got paid a lot of money for that one. We thought they were actors. I'm sure they were, because it's like TR3 for Buddhism. It was really weird. It really was. I have so many weird Flag stories. Oy vey. And I loved at the end, like now here in LA and in Florida, you can't really use a megaphone, right? The police come and they go, no, you can't use a megaphone. So Arnie came up with taking like one of the protest signs and rolling it up into a big, it's basically a horn. And Scientology had these big, cement fences around it. And we would go up and go, Scientology's a cult, It was really funny. It really worked because there's nothing, they couldn't arrest us, because they were paper. It wasn't a megaphone. Arnie was good at coming up with stuff like that. I miss him. I really do. All right, let's see. Scientology and Buddhism just don't sound like they go together. There's actually some stuff that they have in it. I mean, remember Hubbard stole most, if not all, of everything that he wrote, right? And my friend and his partner spent 10 years researching every single piece of tech from Hubbard all the way back to where the source was. And everything had an earlier source, everything. So yeah, Arnie was awesome. He was a cool guy. I have a couple of videos that are up with me. You can Google it. Tori, I think it's maybe Tori Magoo and Arnie Lerma, but they're fun, because we had a good time together. We liked each other. We were friends for a long time. But the funny thing was, and I just told this to someone today, Arnie was trying, he felt like there was someone in their group of critics. And remember, I was still in and just waking up. And he thought, well, I'll plant a seed. And he was on the East Coast. So he planted a seed. He was coming to LA. Now here I am in LA and I'm waking up. And I say to Andreas, I've got to talk to someone that knows what I'm going through. And I had read somewhere on the internet that Arnie and Robert Von Young were in Newport Beach, which is out at the beach. It's like an hour away. And it was from years earlier. But I didn't know that. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. And I didn't know that. So I say to Arnie, I make a post saying, Arnie Lerma, are you coming to LA? And he goes, bingo, she's Osa. And that was it. It took forever for him to get, I really wasn't Osa. It was like, no, I'm not. It just happened to be an accident that, it was very weird. It's very funny though. We laughed about it forever once he finally got it. Okay. I can't stand them meaning who, Larry? Okay. And pay cater. Question. I wonder if you could talk. Ooh, wait a second. You're going up. Wait. I wonder if you could talk more about how you felt about the tiaras at the time. I have some cult experience myself, Landmark, which was basically based on Scientology, where the manipulation was sandwiched into what seemed like benefits. That could be. I personally didn't feel like that, but that doesn't mean it isn't true. I think you're very right. It was a manipulation thing and part of the brainwashing, but it's very hard to see when you're doing it because it's all about the benefits, right? So, did I see it then? No, I didn't. I thought it was I. First of all, I didn't feel like, I didn't have a hard time sitting and facing someone, so I could do that. I didn't have a hard time speaking and saying something. So TR1 was fine. Bull baiting it is what it is. I'd laugh a bit and then I'd get it together. But TR3 is repeating the question. I could do that. And TR4 is just handling any upsets that are in the middle of a communication. And I've always been good at that. So for me, it was kind of learning what works and what doesn't for communication. But I never saw it as brainwashing. I really didn't. But I think you're right. It's very much part of it. And it's sneaky because it sneaks up on you. It's one of the first things they do. So you know it is. Link to the video about Tori and Arnie. Oh, thank you, Sophie. That's good. Question. Did he put research online? It would be interesting to see. Lapisha, did he who? Oh, you mean my friend? No. Yeah. I mean, actually, everything that's online that's top secret came from them. But he doesn't want his name online, and they just got it on the internet. I mean, it's all over the internet. Is there the top secret stuff that nobody can talk about? They got it online. But that's about it. So I'm the only person that talks about what I just said because, I mean, maybe other people know about it, but I'm the one who talks about it. Because I think it's kind of amazing. I can't stand DOA and Laura FM. Okay, we got that. This isn't a place to get into people. Go there and tell them. That's the way I feel. This is a place for topics, not against people against people. Because the only person who wins when you're really getting into arguments about different people is OSA. That's their whole goal, is divide and conquer. So as long as you're promoting that, you're helping their statistics for Thursday at 2. And you might not want to hear that, and that doesn't mean you can't disagree with them. I agree with you. If you don't like them, that's fine. But to really be effective, in my opinion, is to call them up, go to their site, talk to them individually, instead of, just like, I don't like them. Okay. So thank you. I got it. And that's that. Buddhism, give up all your earthly, oh yeah, that's right. Possessions. Scientology, sell all your earthly possessions and donate to IAS. It's amazing. I saw a show because I did a little bit of Buddhism and it kind of helped me before I did Scientology. And then I saw a show after I left on Buddhism. And I mean, this may be one arm of it. I think it's like Scientology where there's different parts that are different. But these people crawled across the desert on their knees to see Buddha. And I mean, it looked like it took them weeks and weeks and weeks. And then these other guys that were there where Buddha was coming had spent weeks, if not months, making this sand thing, like an art thing. And the people all finally get there. The art piece is done. The guy that's supposed to be Buddha walks in, picks it up, shakes it off, throws it into the river, and says, "I don't feel very good. I'm leaving. Bye." And I thought, wow, that is awful. I mean, I just thought that was awful. It may be a lesson, but it wasn't a lesson I wanted to learn. And you're right, never in Aaron. Just saying, okay, that's okay. You said it. All right. Thanks for putting up the link, Sophie. Yeah, thank you. And new name. Okay, no, wait, where did you go? Okay, new name. Darn it. Okay, I already did that. Where's new name? What happened? New name, new name, new name. There it is. Okay. Been man down in bed for 2 days. I think I caught something nasty on the flight back from Thailand. Excuse me, happy to catch a live at 3:25 a.m. I hope you feel better. You will. That's the good thing about being sick is that if you just rest up, you will get better. But I'm sorry you got sick. I know it's a long flight, so it's easy to catch something. Okay. Larry, this ain't the time and place, I don't think. Yeah. I think we made that clear. Hey, and hope you feel better soon. Yeah, really. You will. Make sure to drink water too. All right, now. The brainwashing is horrible. True. No problem. They're super cute together, actually. You can really see their friendship. Okay. New name, be quiet. Okay. Larry must be in a snippy mood tonight. Sophie, name, oh no, get better soon. And then Marcy, I'm going to watch it for sure, Sophie. Yeah, it's fun. It really is. We have a good time together. And Lapisha, yes, Arnie's website is still up there. That's what you asked. Yeah, we've made sure to keep it up there. You know, it's John's is too, my old roommate, John Dries. And you can see my backyard with all his gardening and everything. Oh my God, he was a great gardener. Okay. Your opinion is awesome. Okay. Larry, you don't have to like anyone or anything. Sophie, indeed. Yeah, I'm not saying you have to like him. I'm just saying I don't want to get into a whole thing here. That's all. Larry, please do not tell me to be quiet. Tori's chat is made up of respectful people. It's true. So, yeah. New member, Tony Hoban. All right. Well, thank you, Toby, and welcome. I don't know if we can put that. There we go. Oh, there it was. It was there for a minute. There you go. He's a new member, so welcome. This is a good group of people. Sophie, I like you. LOL. I know, I like her too. She's really cool. Marcy, I'm not sure if I've linked the correct one, but they're Tori's channel. In one, Arnie talks about meeting Tori. So it's so cute and it's so wrong, but I'm not going to get into it here. But it's not true. I don't know what he was thinking of, but I never wore white boots. I don't know. He's a funny guy. I did work for him with Delta Meter, but I didn't wear short pants and white boots and the whole thing he's describing. I'm thinking, what is he talking about? Anyway, I wasn't going to try to clear it up with him because I knew Arnie. And he had it in his mind that's the way it was, and that's the way it was. Okay. Thank you, Sophie, Lapisha says. And Tony Hoban, thanks for supporting Tori. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, Sophie, I'll definitely check it out. Okay, cool. Tori, loved your video with Janice and Mark. Thank you. Yeah, I did too. They're really, I like those guys. They're cool. We're gonna do a part 3. Okay. Tori is awesome. Thank you, Larry. Get well soon. Yeah. And new name, I guess so, as long as he's not rude to Tori, because that's one of my buttons. There you go. Sophie, I'm not rude to Tori. Thank you. I know you don't. You're fine, my friend. Okay, good. So anyway, that was the beginning of me joining Scientology. And of course, immediately, you're on the communication course. Now you finish it. And the next thing you have to do is go attest to a communication completion. And you go to the examiner, and you attest. And then I think on Friday night they have graduation, and they announce and back then lots of people were graduating. I mean, now they have 2 or 3 graduates, but back then they had a ton. And so, you're on stage and you give your little win and stuff like that. I mean, they used to have every day on course at the end of the night. That's right. I forgot about that. At the end of the night, before they'd end off, if anybody wanted to give a win, they could. And some people would get up and go on and on and on. It was really kind of amazing. I forgot all about that. They finally 86'd it because it just took too long. And people were like, I want to go home. You know what I mean? It's time for me to go get my kids or whatever, I think they got enough complaints that they got rid of that. But that was a big thing for a while. And boy, some people had huge, at least for them, it was a huge win. I randomly found your channel months ago through Solomon. Oh, fun. I tune into your lives and have no clue what they're about. Just listening. Strawberries and cream. Nice. Well, if any of my lives you don't like this one, you don't have any idea what it's about, because you can always ask me a question, and I don't want you to not understand something. Let's see. Kelly BC. Have to head out. Have a great night, everyone. Bye, Kelly. All right. Good grad night. Yeah. I have to see that, Sophie. Take care, Kelly. Good to see you. Hello, Tori, and all love from Culver City. Hi, Eric. All right, question. Still having to attest to these wins, do you think that they constitute reinforcement? Helps you think oh, of course. It's all part of the brainwashing and the Truman Show, for sure. Yeah, because everybody's like, yay, and it's this huge reinforcement of you completed something that they all think is fantastic. Is it fantastic? Not really. But you think it is, and they think it is. So it is. And everyone attests, clapping and everything. That's all part of it. All right. Have a great night, Kelly. All right. Psychater question. It's so interesting today when someone joins Scientology, there would be basically no way that they are not aware of the problems. Back then, it seemed really unsuspicious then. Yeah. I mean, we knew nothing, and there were a lot of really cool people that were in Scientology, so it was like, wow, I lucked out on joining this group. But yeah, now you have to sign all these papers. We call them the Lisa forms. And it's like, don't ever sign anything in Scientology because they're legal. And the Lisa forms say, if you get sick and you have to go to a hospital, Scientology gets the first dibs on you. Before your parents, before your doctor, Scientology gets it. So don't ever sign anything because it's really creepy. Yeah, Kelly, have a good night. Yeah, that's true. Cicator, Eric. It's really sweet. It's one of the videos on Tori's channel. Yeah, I think I have 2 of them, Sophie, just so you know, with me and Arnie. The Truman Show. Well, it's a good analogy. I'm telling you, I've taught a lot of people about Scientology with that analogy. You may go, but I remember Jesse going, oh my God, we have spent hours trying to teach these critics about Scientology. And you walk up and they go, how could you be in something for 30 years? And you just go, have you ever seen The Truman Show? And they all go, oh my God, yes. And I go, that's the Scientology. And that was it. You know, he was just amazed. He said, wow, that's the best I've seen. So I love it. It's a great analogy. Question. When you have to speak about your wins, do you exaggerate them to make them bigger than they really are? I don't think I did. No. Bridge 1872. I don't think I did. I can't speak for other people, but I didn't. No. You know, it was just sort of like in your mind, they may be bigger than they really are, but you're really thinking they're real. So, you know, to me, I never lied. I never said my needle was floating when it wasn't. You know, it's like I just didn't do that. I've heard of people who did, but it wasn't me. I was kind of into it, honestly. Okay. Repeatedly the brainwashing. Yeah, it is a repetitive thing of over and over and over, all kinds of different things that, you know, build it stronger and stronger and stronger. Okay. Sophie says, wow. So Tia actually makes Scientology the next of kin. I guess I missed Tia. Ty actually makes Scientology the next of kin. I don't know what you mean, Sophie. I don't. I'm sorry. Over and over crap. Yep. That's a great analogy, Tori. Thank you. Sophie, link in the video I'm talking about with Tori and Arnie. Okay, yeah, there you go. Just saying. Okay. And hi, Rib Dog. How are you? Comment. I loved your video with peeling the onion. Glad you are making the rounds. Oh, I got to call him back. Sorry. I forgot to turn off my phone. Ooh. So now, Rib Dog, your video with, peeling the onion. Yeah, glad you're making the rounds. I'm not really, I don't know if I'm making the rounds, but they called and said, let's do an interview. And I said, okay. We'd already done, I think 1, maybe 2. Yeah, I think 1, this is 2, and then we're going to do 3. So that's good. But they're good. I really liked it. I enjoyed it. You mean the Buddhists make Scientology their next of kin? Is that what you're talking about, Sophie? Rib Dog. It's good to see you here, Rib Dog. Sorry. Sorry is next of kin, not an American term. It's who is responsible for you in the hospital. That's over to Sophie. I'm bad at that kind of thing. I think the next of kin is just your family. It's like, like your mother, and then the next of kin is like the first child. And then the next of kin for that would be the next brother or sister. Do you see what I mean? That's how that works. Okay. Sorry is next of kin. Okay. It is Sophie. Okay, Marcy says. Okay, in Landmark, they use terms with multiple meanings all the time. Enrollment, earns, ends talking to people. I think she said means talking to people about your exciting plans, but also to get people to sign up. Isn't that a Scientology thing too? Yeah, I think pretty much. Yeah, it's, you're enrolling in something, so you're getting on course. Because remember, in Scientology, it doesn't count until the person starts the course. So they can pay for it, do the recruitment, blah, blah, blah. But until they start the course, they can't count it as a statistic on Thursday at 2. So yeah, it is. They definitely have dual lingo. Scientology call non-Scientologists wogs, and JWs are called JWs worldwide. Okay. I think you mean 49ers for Life. They call everybody who isn't a Scientologist a wog. And the JWs worldwide call people that were in or are in the Jehovah's Witnesses JWs. Is that what you mean? Am I right? Oh, thank you, Rib Dog. Oops. I thought Tori said that the cult gets people to sign something that makes Scientology the point of contact in an emergency situation at a hospital. That's different than next of kin. That's a whole different thing. Yes, they get people to sign a paper now, which we call the Lisa Clause, because it happened after Lisa McPherson was basically taken care of by Scientology and died on the way to the hospital, on the way to the doctor. But they now have a thing saying, if anything happens to you, accident, illness, anything, Scientology's first. They have the first dibs on you. Then your parents or your doctor, and then your doctor. I forget which it is in order, but the point is, that's pretty spooky in itself. So that doesn't have to do with next of kin, though. That just has to do with their order of trying to take over someone who's been in an accident or ill or PTS. They can handle it. That's what they think. No, they can't. I have to switch to this account. I'll call you after this. Okay. But you said that before and you didn't call me, so you have to call me. All right. Tony. I thought so too, Sophie. All right. Here in New Zealand, when you go to the hospital, they make you say who your next of kin is. Doesn't always mean it's family. Yeah, I think they have that here too in the hospital. But this is a paper with a religious organization, which they're not a religion, they're a cult. But they have people sign that, so it doesn't matter what the next of kin is. This is their, and the person has signed it saying, okay, yeah, sure, Scientology first. Because when you get in, you think it's going to be good and they're all healthy and they'll come get you and they'll save you. And they're very anti-medicine and anti-doctors and stuff like that. Even though the one guy, Professor Kakan, last night said he had no problem with that. But boy, I did for 30 years and everybody I knew. So, yeah, I see what you're saying, Sophie, but it's kind of a different thing. That's okay. That's okay. You don't have to be sorry. JW is a creepy religion. It's another cult. It's not a religion. It's just like Scientology. I did a cult conference with the JWs, And the funny thing was, I told them, and when talking to them, that I had these parties because I lost all my friends because of disconnection. And they have a thing called shunning, where it's just like this, not as bad as disconnection, but it's pretty bad. So I said I had these parties, and they came up to me afterwards and they said, we don't have any parties. And I said, well, come to mine. And they have a really big thing about they can't have a birthday cake. You can't have birthday parties, and they're anti-birthday cakes. So, okay, my party, there was a lady named Susan, and she would always come late at night because she was a vet, and she would work late in Orange County, and then she would drive up here with this big chocolate cake. And she shows up, and this big, tall Jehovah's Witness guy comes up to me, and he goes, Tori, I've got to talk to you. I've got to talk to you. And I'm like, okay, come on in the other room. Let's talk. And I'm like, what's up? And he goes, there's a cake in the other room. And I said, okay, first of all, it's not a birthday cake. It's just a cake. And we have it at every one of our parties. And they left and they never came back. And these were ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. It's like, wow, very intense. Sorry about that. Good. Yeah, it is creepy about the Lisa clause. We try to tell everybody because it's easy to sign away things. You don't realize what's really happening. JWs call non-JWs worldwide. Okay, they don't? JWs call non-JWs. What do they call them? If they don't call them that, what do they call them? Okay, next of kin, you're the closest relative. Yeah. Yeah. But not if you signed away. If you signed this thing away. No worries, we have you. You're only the best in mind. Exactly. Sign right here. We'll take care of everything. Yeah, sure. That's why I try to talk about their medical abuse, because it's bad. Okay. Rib Dog, that makes sense. Okay, 49ers. Tori, please don't call me out on my tech ignorance. What are you talking about? Are you teasing? I don't know. I don't know your tech ignorance. I just said you said you'd call me and you didn't. That's not tech ignorance. It isn't. At least in my book, it isn't. All right, 49ers for life. Sophie. I've seen it all with JWs. Growing up with one was definitely a trip. Okay, so So do they call each other JWs around the world, or what do they call each other? Like if you wanted to say this guy was a Jehovah's Witness, do you have to say that whole long term, or do they have some other term? Know what, where? Thankfully, no one JW group that is more than okay. They're even allowing us to talk to them as ex-JWs. Wow, cool. Yeah, I know. My neighbors really helped me out, and they were ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. Wow, that's so creepy about having people sign that. It is. We used to make it a big deal. When it first happened, we made it a big deal. On the internet for a long, long time, for years, we were announcing it to people because people were still joining. And we would tell them, don't sign anything, nothing. Just say, no, I don't want to sign anything. Okay. Next of kin is who police have to notify, right, if someone's murdered before it's released to media. I think hospital wants your emergency contact. I know it's different. It depends on, like, I had to, when my mother was really, really sick, they would not tell me what was wrong with her. And I said, what is going on? She's my mom. And they said, well, you have to be the power of attorney. And I said, okay, what do I have to do to be the power of attorney? Because she had dementia at the time. And they said, she has to fill out these papers. And it basically had her signature and two witnesses. So I went down to the lobby of the hospital, I found these two young girls, like probably in their 20s. And I explained the thing. My mom is, getting really, really sick and they won't tell me what. And I have to be a power of attorney. And can you just witness it? And so they both signed. And then I went up to my mom and I took out a piece of paper and I said, all right, a tablet to sign it on. And I said, all right, just sign your name, Mom. And she did. And I handed it to the doctor. I said, okay, now I'm the power of attorney. So what do I have to do? What's going on with my mom? So anyway, that's a little different thing. Okay, Larry, you were stunned. What were you stunned about? I don't know what you were stunned about. Let me know what you're stunned about. I can't seem to find it. And I'm sorry you were subjected to that belief system. It's really very damaging. But you came out of it. You came out of it well. You really did. So that's what counts. Birthdays are all evil when you're a JW. Yeah, that I got. I almost went to one as a kid and I left so guilty. Oh, that's so sad. I hate that story. Rib dog. Wait, no birthday cake? Oh, hell no. I know, I'm the same. Exactly. Hell no. Burnt ass Scientologist. It's only a cake. Hey, we like cakes. It's evil. Okay. Cake yum. All right. I get it now. Thanks. I got the wrong end of the stick. Okay. Psychator. That sign your rights away thing is really the hallmark of a cult. It's the line when an organization really behaves like a parasite. Perfect. Very good. That'd make a good protest sign. It really would. It's really that's an important one. Thank you. Like the power of attorney, Tori the Lisa clause. Like the power of attorney, Tori the Lisa clause. No, the Lisa clause was not a power of attorney. Well, maybe it was. I don't know. I know it wasn't an official power of attorney. Tonight's a bad night for me. I gotta help some of my stuff. It just says they get first choice, first dibs. Okay. The medical abuse is evil. Amen, brother. Okay, Sophie says 49ers, yes, no joy, I always thought religion was to bring joy, but it's a very dark belief system, really. Well, cults certainly are. I haven't studied that many religions. I grew up as a Catholic, and to me, it wasn't real dark, but it wasn't, I wouldn't say it was joy either. But cults are really different. They're very different. He is in the truth is the general term. Oh, JWs use. Okay, he's in the truth. Really? So if you had a friend down the street and another friend asked you about him that was a Jehovah's Witness, you would say, he's in the truth? Really? I never heard that. That's the first time I've ever heard that. I believe you, but I've never heard it. Jehovah's Witness is a cult as well. Yeah. Very true. All right. Now, Rib Dog got a new phone. Okay, good. It transferred all numbers and text, but names were gone. So I basically had a phone book. with a name column missing. Oh, that's hard. How would you do that? I would have to just call people up and say, I'm sorry. This is Tori. This is what happened to my phone, and I don't have any names. So would you be willing to tell me who you are? Because a lot of them are your friends, and they'll be happy to tell you. But that's what I'd have to do. If you have a sign, if you have to sign something to join, it's a red flag. Bingo. Okay, my mom was brainwashed. Ooh, that's why I hate the cult. I understand. That would do it. That would do it. Ugh, that happened to me the last time I upgraded. I know, I almost upgraded here because of that. And I thought, no, don't do it, Tori, because then they change everything and you can't get it back. And this wasn't a phone, this was my laptop. They just a few minutes ago said, we need to update all your settings. And I said, no, I can barely figure it out now, but with all of the changes, no, forget it. Okay, Psychater, that can be so hard about life. We always depend on others, and we also need and want to give ourselves to others. But there's a line when it becomes exploitation and parasitical behavior. True. And Justice just arrived. Hello, Tori. So nice to see you. Hope you are doing great. I am, except for my throat is kind of giving me a hard time tonight. But other than that, I'm great. I'm happy you're here and everybody else. Okay, true, Tori. All right. I hate the cult. Yeah, they're kind of a pain in the ass. Listening while I get ready for bed. Okay, good to see you too. Thank you, Mary. Have a good sleep. Mary James. Okay. Okay, and Marcy came. Hey. I know there's something here. 49ers for life. Jehovah is the God of truth. Okay. So if you know another JW, you would say he or she is in the truth. Wow, I never heard that. That's the first time I've ever heard that, ever. Interesting. So you're in the truth. And they don't say they're JWs. My neighbor did. He was an ex-Jehovah's Witness. And he was really great. He kind of screwed Scientology. It was great. I will absolutely not promoting Scientology, but can you name some positive moments out of your history? Yeah, I had like 20 years of positive moments, in Scientology. Me personally, and this won't be you guys, but I liked the training. I really did. I loved learning how to audit. I liked auditing other people. I loved all the people. I had a lot of really cool friends that I really loved. I miss a lot of them. I do. They were really neat people. A bunch of them have died. I originally liked the tech in the lower part of the bridge. Like I said, Scientology is like a triangle. And from clear on down, I really liked it. I thought it really worked. It was sort of like talk therapy kind of thing, but it worked. And everybody seemed to have wins on it. And it was easy and, just fun. Whereas the OT levels, which is the top part of the triangle, it's super complicated and super expensive and super weirdo. And you can't talk about it. And I didn't like it at all. But the lower part, I did. So there you go. I did. I mostly, for 20 years, I had wins with it. It was just the last 10 when I was on OT7 were bad. Hi, Tori. Glad you could I could catch you live. Me too. Hi, Gina. All right. Hello, Marcy. Jehovah is. Oh, wait. Oh, what happened to him? All right, let me go back down here. Oh, it specifically guarantees that the signee will not sue the church in the event of injury or death. There you go. Yeah, that's all they ever care about is money. Might get a different kind of unwanted visitor. This is Sieglin. I missed the Sieglin thing. Okay, I Googled it. The Lisa McPherson clause is a release form. Yeah. Sieglin, I've noticed that if you answer the door naked when a JW came calling, they don't bother you anymore. I used to have them in and I'd talk about Xenu, and that was it. They never came, they never bothered me then either. Because I'd be talking about it's a cult and stuff like that. I didn't say they were, but I just said what I knew. Jehovah is the God of truth. So if you knew another JW, you would say he or she is in the truth. That's just amazing to me, 49ers for life. It really is. For all the years, 24 years I've been speaking about cults, and I've talked to a lot of JWs who I help wake up, and they never told me that. So thank you. It's good to learn something else. Okay. Oh God, new name. It also states that if a Scientologist is placed in a psych ward, the church will be allowed to intervene on the behalf and place them into the care of other Scientologists. Yeah, see, that's the thing. They don't want them with psychs or, they want to have first dibs on it. That's it, on the person. But it's kind of scary when you think they could cut before their parents or their doctor. Awesome. I have. New name. It explicitly guarantees that the signee will not sue. Okay, that we mentioned that. Yeah. I sometimes wonder whether the good about the lower part of the Scientology can be rescued in some way, but I am scared that the evil it is laced with is too strong and insidious. Yeah, I would never. First of all, there's too many cool books and groups and things like that are already out here that are functioning and good and nice, and they, you can join one of those. Why go back into Scientology? It's like, no, it just isn't. And that's the way I feel. It's like, done. Tony, sorry, didn't see you a bit late. Hug from me. Oh, that's nice. No worries, Justice. Good. Question. Is the vibe Scientology just like a college life or just a community or else? It's not like a college, no. A little bit like a college, mixed in with, music and, for me, because I was over at Celebrity Center a lot. So that was a big part of my thing. But the musicians and writers and artists, I like that. But I got to think of how to answer that. don't think it's like college life. That sounds too good. Or just a community or else. Mm. Well, remember there's public and there's Sea Org. So those are two very different things. The Sea Org is definitely a community where they are together and that's it. Public, we were all over the place because various different public work different places, own different businesses, that we were constantly trying to make money because you got to pay for the bridge. So whereas the Sea Org, they were promised the bridge, they never got it, but they were promised it. So they didn't really have that as a pressure. Whereas it was a big pressure to make money. And the regs were always like, all right, you've got to start paying for blah, whatever it was, your next services. It's like, thank God I'm out of that. All right. Because Elrond stole from everywhere, anything useful can be found somewhere else without the abusive practices. Exactly, Sophie. Perfect. Well said. Thank you. All right, so it's 1:21. All right, so did everyone hit the like button? I hate to ask you that, but it does move things up so people see things. It moves up in the algorithm. It moves us up in the algorithm. Anyway, does anyone else have a question? All right, Kim White, hi. Tori, it's always interesting hearing your stories. We're glad you're on the outside and letting people know the truth. Thank you. Yeah, I am too. I appreciate that. Yeah, someone wrote me yesterday the nicest thing, and they said, I really, really want you to keep doing your videos. Because they said, I know you've said a lot of these things many times, but there's also many new people that have never heard it. And this is really helping us understand. And I thought, well, that's good. That really helped me. It did. I really appreciated it. Okay. Sieglin. No, thank you. I learned from the best, you, Tori. Thank you, Sophie. I love you and have followed you since 2020. Wow, cool. Thank you for doing so, Elsie. We don't forget Scientology doesn't like you when you like and subscribe. Yeah, that's a big deal for them. They really don't. Okay, wait. Oh, Heart Healer 44. Hi. Hello, Tori, and good to see you on an earlier time. I am CST. I forget what CST is. What is CST? Tell me what CST is. Such a lovely 2006 for me. So many loves. Okay, so what is I am CST? What is CST? Oh, Central Standard Time. I thought it was a Scientology term, and I was trying to think. I don't remember what CST is. Oh, yeah, Central Standard Time. Okay, cool. Good. I grew up in CST. I know it well. Oh, thank you, Marcy. I appreciate it. Wow, that's nice. A super sticker. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I really do. Very kind. Good. Thank you. All right. Me in this throat. Question. All right. Now, 49ers for life. Ooh, where'd your question go? It says question, but it's gone. LRH's body language is the old 1970s, 60s film is really bizarre. It's hard to understand how people fell for for his whatever accolade. Yeah. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. I know. I know it is, but we did. I think for me, it was the people, and that's what I always say. It's like we stayed because of the people. We made wonderful friends there, and the group, and it had a lot of hope in it too. In the early days, and believe it or not, it really did, because he was out on the ship with the Sea Org, and we would get these updates, and it would be like, oh, okay, this is better. It'd be something new. We refined it, blah blah blah. So anyway, it was a different time. It really was. Going to take a nap soon. Love you, Tori, and have a good night. Okay, thank you. Who was that? Moose on the loose. Okay. All right. Good night. We're going to go good night pretty soon, too. Thank you, Kim, for Central Standard Time. Act. Okay. We have been canceled for following you. What are you talking about, Elsie? We have been canceled for following you. I finally wrote to my senator. He uncanceled me. He will fight for you too. Wow, thank you, Elsie. I can't believe you were canceled because you're following me. What did they say? Why? That's really very strange. Thank you for writing your senator. It's important. That's a thing that everyone in the United States of America, we have to write our senators and our congressmen and really say what we need and want. Just like this. She did that. I don't know if you're a she or a he, but Elsie did that. And thank you, because that means a lot to me. It really does. It's very important. Thank you. Take care, Moose. All right. Do you think that David Miscavige will take the money and run before he has to appear in court? I have no idea. I have no idea. Or will he be able to pay him off? Who knows? Sweet dreams, Moose. Excuse me. CST is also the acronym for the Church of Spiritual Technology that runs the mysterious vaults. That's what I thought. I kept thinking there's something in Scientology, and that's right, because I know Blow Drill, and he was one of the guys that ran CST. And that's what I was thinking. It's a Scientology term, but I couldn't remember that's what it was. Thank you very much for that. Cycator. Yeah, so it's Central Standard Time or the Church of Spiritual Technology. Yeah, that's right. That's a weird thing. I'm going to see if I can do an interview with him. That would be really fun to have him explain it. It really would. Isn't she the sweetest? I don't know who you mean, but she is. Okay. Question. At present time, what is the best thing about leaving Scientology? Good question. Very good question, Heart Healer 44. I think really, truly, if you think of spending 30 years trying to get free, and then finally, to me, it was like if I was trying to swim up Niagara Falls for 30 years, and this really happened, and the critics finally said, I mean, I don't know how they said it. They didn't say it this way, but that's how I got it. They said, there's an inner tube right next to you, and you can just get in the inner tube and slide down, and it's really easy. And I did. And it was just like, oh my God. It was just so dramatically fabulous. And I think that was the best thing, is like truly getting freedom. Because in Scientology, you're always working to be free, but of course you never are. And it's a giant trap to basically cut off all your freedoms. You don't know that, but that's what it is. So by the time you finally get free, it's unbelievable. It really is. It's fantastic. And of course, reconnecting with a lot of my friends who I thought had either died or moved to Clearwater, or I didn't know what, but they were out. I didn't know that. So that was fun too. Okay, so there you go. I was canceled without a strike. And yes, I am a lady who loves your wisdom and experience with the toxic cult. Thank you, LC. I really appreciate it. I thought you were a lady. When you said you wrote your senator, I thought that's a lady. Good for you. I really appreciate it. And you don't have any idea why they did that? That is really unusual. Question: how will Scientology know when LRH returns? I don't think that's a problem. 49ers for life. I really don't think the guy, if he was going to, he would have already, and he's not. So that's not going to happen. Heart Healer, hi love, says Sophie. Flow Drill is such a large source. I respect his view. Me too. I'm going to see if he'll do an interview with me, because that would be really fun. It'd be really great to have him, talk about it. And you guys could ask him questions and stuff. I'm pretty sure LC means that you are the sweetest Tori. Ah, thank you, Sieglin. I'll take it, and you guys can take it too if you want. All right. It's really ridiculous how much you have been censored. Me? I have? I had no idea. I mean, I knew I was in the early days from 2000 to 2008, but once we got rid of, once Anonymous arrived, I thought most of the censorship, is it still happening? I can't believe it. I mean, Scientology, they're so funny. I mean, they don't realize how much it's actually hurting them to do that kind of thing. I mean, they have done unbelievable things to me. Calling all the radio stations, don't ever interview Tori. And it's like, what kind of knuckleheads would go along with that? I figure, okay, if they buy that, it's fine with me. I don't need to be interviewed by somebody that's that. I'm pretty sure LC means, okay, thank you. LC, it's really ridiculous how much you've been censored. It is, especially if you saw the old days. Oh my God. We come back. Ain't coming back. Yeah. Well, we come back is really we SPs. We're back. They didn't get rid of us. Oh yeah, Sieglin. I've loved her for almost a decade. Aw, that's sweet. Well, I'll tell you, that means a lot to me. It really does. I love you guys. Thank you all for coming on here. And I'm going to bid adieu now, because it is, what time is it? God, it's only 9:30. It's so weird. It's so weird to have it be so early. It's really fabulous, though, for me, because then I can do some other stuff that I need to get done. Pay all my bills. Anyway, thank you to each one of you for coming on. Thank you, Sophie, for being such a great moderator. I really appreciate it. I love your questions. You are fabulous. Great live, Tori. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you guys appreciate it. I just really didn't know. And if you have any ideas for what you'd like me to talk about Wednesday night, please send me an email and let me know, because then that helps. Then I have something that I know you want me to talk about. I mean, I'm going to just kind of go up the bridge. That's my plan, and kind of tell you what things that were, kind of just fill in blanks of what it was. And you can ask me questions on it, on going up the bridge and what it was like. But if you have something else that's specific, let me know. Okay, now let's see. Love you. Thank you. Good night, Tori. Sweet dreams. Thank you for being here for us. You are most welcome. Thank you guys for being here for me. It really helps me. And Sophie, bless your heart. You're the best. All right. Well, I'm going to see Lovett tomorrow, believe it or not. See you tomorrow, Marcy. All right. Okay, so I will see you guys. Whoever wants to, Wednesday, I'll be on at 8. And if you have anything that you want me to talk about, send it to me. Y'all so sweet. Love to everyone. Yeah, this is a great group of people. All right. Good night. Be kind to each other. And remember, Monday's over. So now you've just got, if you work, you've just got a little bit more of the week, and then it's the weekend. There you go. Cheers. Ooh, I forgot. Uh-oh. I think I did it wrong.